How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back with yet another review. A little bit of high ABV barrel-aged craziness on today's Massive Beer Review with Carton Brewing Sundae. Whole lot of stuff going on in this. Super excited to give it a whirl. First things first, thank you very much, George, for getting this to me. You all know George. He is the Troll Supreme, and he comes on and does regular reviews. He's done troll reviews. He's an awesome dude. Dropped this off for me yesterday, so thank you very much, buddy. Anyway, as far as what it says on this can, it says drink off the beaten craft. Sundae, Neapolitan Russian Imperial Stout, aged in Cognac barrels with walnuts and maraschino cherries. That's some sexiness right there. Fucking cognac for one. Fucking, walnuts, we'll see. But that maraschino cherries, okay. Speak my language. It's a sipper. 10% alcohol by volume. And on the side here, a little story time. We have the first stride on this path was enough super galena in the middle of the boil, leaning a strawberry hop tone and vanilla and chocolate malt notes to create a Russian Imperial Stout with a different gate. The move to let's throw some Neapolitan ice cream in there and see what happens isn't a giant leap, going from big bold stout with chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, freezed ice cream in it to brandied walnuts and cherry on top, right? Now, this is reading very badly, for me at least. It's always hard to kind of read these with the orange and white background. It's actually a small step. Sundae is cosmonaut put down in cognac barrels with maraschino cherries and walnuts for a year. Drink Sundae because it's one for you, Mr. Gorsky. Gorsky first got to go into space. Russian cosmonaut, which is what the beer is based of. So it's their cosmonaut. I assume a little bit jacked up. I don't remember cosmonaut being 10%, but I could be wrong. So you're talking about cognac barrels. This is our first barrel-aged beer I'm having from Carton. And walnuts and maraschino cherries. So yeah, I butchered the shit out of the read there, but fuck it. Label-wise, I've always dug Carton's labels. You know what I mean? The whole stylization, the whole nine. Love it. Dig it. Let's crack into it. Get a little proper glassware here. I have not used this in a very long time. So you're going to get very dirty Mafia glassware out of this one because I can already see it already. I didn't rinse it out properly. But you know what? We're doing a barrel-aged fucking stout right now. So I'm not too worried about it, to be perfectly honest with you. Give her a good pour. Yeah, when's the last time you saw me do a beer review out of a Teku glass? Kind of avoid them, to be perfectly honest with you. Just really don't like how the beer pours in them in the whole nine, but afterwards, once it settles down, it's usually pretty good stuff. Teku head, almost 2 fingers, just south of where I like my coffee to look like. It looks like pretty much chocolate whipped cream. Infinite creaminess, kind of settling down from tight compact bubbles, gets kind of neurotic towards the top. And yeah, she be dark. Nice rich darkness to it. Nice kind of chocolatey, chewy head to it. She looks like a big dark beer. Whether she's barrel-aged or not, can't really tell that shit from a distance. See if we can get a nose on her. I'm definitely getting like a soft chocolate there. It's not necessarily like a milk chocolate. It's like a semi-sweet milk chocolate. I'm getting the cherries, and I'm getting a generic booziness, a generic brandiness. It's nothing too crazy. It's just a little bit pop of kind of alcohol sweetness. Not necessarily heat, but sweetness on top of what's already there beer-wise. So it's kind of has a little bit of booziness going on, but I couldn't tell you if it was barreled or not. I could definitely confuse this with being like just a crazy forward Russian Imperial Stout. Like a lot of times, like your Courage Russian Imperial Stout, or your what's the other one? Well, not Wells and Young. God, I forget. Bottles right there. That one, or whatever that one is. That Russian Imperial Stout right next to Courage over my shoulder. Definitely comes off a bit hot, like it's almost been a little bit boozy. But they're not. They're not barrel aged. It's a little bit bigger kind of Russian Imperial Stout. So yeah, sweet cherries, soft chocolates, not overly sweet. And that's pretty much it. Not necessarily a bad thing. Walnuts kind of go missing in the nose. I'm pretty much just getting a Russian Imperial Stout with a little bit of kind of sweet booziness. So let's just dive in and see what the sucker has. Cheers. Okay. Well, wow, that's good. That's fun. That's a fun beer. That's a fun beer. I'm going to take another sip here. Okay. Definitely some booze there. A little bit of heat. I feel just kind of one gives me heartburn, but not that much. But it's not hard to drink. It just lets you know there's an alcohol kind of vibe to it. Not really getting much wood there. Maybe a little bit of dryness, but not much wood as far as flavor. The ice cream really comes through. I get whether they're imparting the ice cream through the beer and everything else in it, but I'm getting this kind of soft, creamy ice creaminess to it, almost like a lactose vibe. I mean, they're using a kind of dehydrated space ice cream. If that's adding that kind of lactose vibe to it, then I get it. Definitely getting a cherry vibe from there. I think that's a combination of a base Russian Imperial Stout, how it's supposed to be, kind of jacked up, a little Spinal Tap to 11 action going on with a little bit of maraschino cherries. So you're getting the cognac. You're getting, I want to say I even get the walnuts in there. I'm getting like a nuttiness. Again, is that coming a roasted malt kind of nuttiness thing? But the one thing I guess I could say that's really fun about this beer is it's all cohesive, which is fun. It's a bigger beer. It's a lot of moving parts, but at the same time, it's hard to kind of rip each one of those off of each other and be like, okay, this one's so big. That's a major flavor. That's a major flavor. Even when you have beers that are like that, they can still be cohesive. This is not like, okay, I'm getting this flavor, this flavor, this flavor, this flavor. They're all kind of married and kind of arced, soft arc through each other to the point where it's like all kind of melded together, which honestly to me is one of the best things I think I could say about a beer, especially when it's trying to do what this is doing. It's not fucking pussyfooting around. It's not trying to be, super kids glovesy and be like, oh, let's deal with nuance and gentleness. Do you know what I mean? This is, bold flavors. You're talking about a huge beer in a big, liquor that is not a liquor a ton of people use, but at the same time, when you use it, you got to be a little bit kind of soft, kind of gentle with it because it's going to overtake a beer. Combined with that, you're throwing in walnuts, you're throwing in maraschino cherries, you're talking a lot of bold flavors to marry them together well and do it so it's soft and not super in your face. Not too shabby. Mouth feels nice. Carbonation's perfect, not too big, not too small. First barrel age offering from Carton. Not gonna lie, kind of dig it. Kind of really dig it. It's very Walter Payton, man. It's very Barry Sanders. It's soft and nimble, but at the same time, it's in your face. It's not a huge bruiser of a beer, but at the same time, it can deliver the power when it needs to. I like these kind of beers that are a little bit kind of, I don't know, schizophrenic or something. Yeah, I dig it. It's delicious. One of the better big barrel age in your face neckbeardy offerings that I've had as of late, and that's a fun thing to have from Carton, from having a lot of their stuff, never having anything barrel aged, to see this kind of boldness, but at the same time, kind of whatever the word is, know what the fuck you're doing is, this kind of whatever. It's fun. So yeah, delicious stuff. In a delicious way. So let's talk about it. Is this one of the better barrel-aged Imperial Stouts? I'm going to go that. I'm not even going to go Russian. That I've had as of late, yes. It's that good. For me, it's in your face when it needs to be. It's refined when it needs to be. And it's all kind of a beer. That's the part where you can't understate it. It's actual fucking beer. You can taste the beer. The beer is actually in there, which is fun to fucking have. So, yes, it is. It's up there. It's delicious. I enjoy the shit out of it. I only have one can. Sucks for me. Value and availability. No idea. It's Carton. Probably $20 for a 4-pack, I'm guessing. But who knows? Maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit more. Brewery only, I assume. And just say if you like what we like this. If you like good beer. If you like big barrel-aged beers. If you like aged beers. Because that's kind of the vibe I guess I'm getting out of this. And I didn't really touch on that. Is that it gives me a kind of barrel-aged vibe to it, or not even barrel-aged vibe, shelf vibe, or aged vibe, or cellared vibe. Excuse me. In that it's so rounded that I feel like it has a little bit of time on it. And that's kind of a hard thing to pull off for the newer beer, so kudos to those guys. And on a side note, I'm going to say this at the end, because I usually wanted to say this. I've always liked Carton. Yeah, a little fucking weird tangent I'll go on. I've always liked Carton Brewing. I've enjoyed them. I like what Augie does, what his flavors, and how he fucking does things, and how he kind of fucks with, flavors we know, as far as just adding, food flavors to beer, or kind of replacing food flavors with beer and stuff like that. I really do enjoy that. I'm a fan of it. And I've always liked Augie as a brewer in general. I like his podcast, Steal This Beer. I'm a big fan of that. I watch it, listen to it quite often. And he's kind of an asshole. In the most positive way I could possibly say, in my kind of way. I think I'm an asshole, so I kind of like that more. What should I say? Not necessarily an asshole. He just doesn't filter, and I get not to relate myself to him, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't filter shit either, so people kind of think I'm an asshole a lot of times, but I'm not. And I've always liked that. I always like that kind of whatever. What you see is what you get. And the reason why I'm saying this is this brewery definitely kicked it up a notch in my book. The other day, a good friend of mine, George, who actually gave me this beer, is a beer maniac, and he goes out and about. We've gone on beer journeys, me and him, a couple times, and he goes out pretty much every weekend and just huts down beer. And he did the whole Jersey roundabout, go down, Carton, Cane, fucking Cypress, Demented, the whole nine. And, he went to Carton, and he drug along two friends, and they ended up leaving some beer at the brewery. And they get home, and it was kind of like, oh, whatever. And, one of the friend who left the beer there kind of reached out, and the Carton just as a, like, hey, man, I left beer there. And they are literally driving the beer from Atlantic Highlands to Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is, a bit over, give or take, 2 hours. That's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? To have a brewery go out of its way to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a matter of like, oh, can you do this, do that. They did distribute it as far out, I believe it's Hackettstown, which is about an hour from Scranton. So basically the self-distributing driver is going to kind of make that extra hike up here and kind of drop that beer off of that person. And I can't fucking love that enough. I mean, most breweries would be like, hey, man, you left it here. We're sorry. We'll look for it, but whatever, and you won't hear back from them. To see a brewery go out of their way to do such things is absolutely fantastic. So I've always been a fan of Carton, but the fact that they are doing those kind of things as a brewery that is pretty fucking popular is fucking fantastic. So I usually tell people, give them a whirl. Definitely give them a whirl. If you're in and around the area, if you're in North Jersey, if you're anywhere, go to Carton Brewing. Do you know what I mean? They make interesting beers. Yes, they might not make your super crazy doo-doo water looking turbid IPA that you all love. But you're going to get something interesting. You're going to get something unique. Open your brain. Go there. Enjoy the beers. Because not only, one, are you going to get something interesting, but two, you're going to support a brewery that actually gives a fuck. And that doesn't suck. So, diatribe over. So there you go. Another review and a little weirdness at the end there for you in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you feel like talking, starting a discussion down there, you can ask me questions, or we can talk about this or whatever. So do that. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tap. If you want to check me out anywhere else, Massive Beers. I pretty much regurgitated everything in all those places. So Twitter I kind of fucking suck with, so skip that one. Go to the other places. And just say, if you like what we like this. I already did that with the beer. I say me. What I say is, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice beer made by a brewery that is fun as fuck. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.